What's up everybody, my name is Carl, and today I'm going to review Thunderbolts with an asterisk. Directed by Jake Schreier, after finding themselves placed in a death trap, an unconventional team of anti-heroes go on a dangerous mission that will force them to confront the darkest corners of their past. Overall, this film wasn't good. It was absolutely brilliant. Had you there for a minute, didn't I? Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is the best MCU film that we've had. It doesn't hold a candle to the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, Spider-Man trilogy, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Black Panther, Infinity War and Endgame. But this is still a great watch, and is personally one of the best post-Endgame films we've had. I'd say that this is probably in my top 10. Yelena Belova, played by Florence Pugh. This is her third appearance in an MCU project, and she has been so consistently good. Yelena seems to just be coasting through her life, doing missions but feeling like she has no purpose anymore. I felt this. Florence seems to bring a personality to this character, someone that is complex but has a likeable quality to them. Funny too. John Walker, played by Wyatt Russell. I actually liked disliking his character in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and not to mention, he's kind of a dick in this. But I guess for a reason. Walker has definitely been through a lot and hides this through a tough guy persona. Ava, Ghost, played by Hannah John Kamen, was more or less one of those forgettable villains from the MCU who has a cool costume and powers. And it's much the same story in this. I do wish she had more to do in this. When she had a scene, she was great and had some good moments, especially with her powers, but it would have been nice to have seen some of her trauma. But I guess that was heavily explored in Ant-Man and the Wasp. LAKEY, Red Guardian, played by David Harbour. As ever incredible to see on screen, I feel like David Harbour really committed to the role and went all in. Absolutely perfect use of humour without being too overkill, comedic where he needed to be. Taskmaster, played by Olga Kurylenko. Well, rest in peace Taskmaster. Bob, Sentry, The Void, played by Lewis Pullman. Wow, what a fascinating character. Definitely one of my favourites from this, and one that is deeply complex and troubled. Lewis Pullman effectively played three different characters. Bob, who is soft, quiet and has suffered severely from mental health. Sentry, a godlike being who is all-powerful and basically has a superiority complex. And then we have The Void, which is this dark, depressing force that will literally turn you into a shadow and make you endure some really traumatic stuff from your past. Favourite sequences: Yelena's opening monologue. The whole sequence itself was really good, showcasing where Yelena is currently at in her life. Even her jumping off the second tallest building, as dramatic as it would look, was just a regular day for her. Tonally, you kind of had a sense as to where this film was going based off the opening. It wasn't going to be your typical joke fest of an MCU film. Thunderbolts fighting each other. Yes, I know it's just a sequence of them fighting each other, but we have to remember that this is still a superhero film. It was great to see the various abilities of each of them, a refresher on what everyone was capable of doing, such as Walker's super soldier strength, Ghost's phasing abilities, and Taskmaster's mimicry powers that she got to use before she bit the dust. Bob fighting the Void. Man, this scene really got to me for many reasons. The Void is effectively Bob's dark, depressing side that has consumed him, making him feel like he's worthless and alone. Bob starts fighting the Void despite being weaker, whilst the Thunderbolts are all held back by the Void in the world they are in. As Bob is literally just punching the Void, it starts to consume him, but luckily the Thunderbolts break free and begin to hold on to Bob and start to pull him away from the Void. Yelena keeps saying, "I'm here," and they manage to escape out of that world. From a mental health perspective, that scene alone was powerful. Someone going through something so troubling, consumed by darkness, thinking they are all alone when they're not. People are there and will literally hold you and let you know they're there and try to pull you out of the darkness. That speaks volumes and is probably one of my all-time favourite scenes, not just in an MCU film, but ever. The good points of this film: balanced humour. Typically the MCU overkill jokes can really spoil a scene, especially when there's no need for them. In this, they are used when it's needed. David Harbour usually is the one to make the jokes, but at the correct time. It's balanced out well and it's not entirely forced. It never disrupts a serious scene, which is important. Characters. Now, these are effectively characters that a lot of people don't care about. I guess you'd probably say that if you were to watch them in something else. But in this, these characters are actually fleshed out better. They have flaws, personalities and feelings. They don't feel tacked on. Themes. The main crux of this film is around mental health, depression, and the ways that it's affected people. I think it's done perfectly and is taken very seriously. It makes sense as the writers for this film are the same ones used in the Netflix show Beef, which had mental health themes throughout. Tone. The current MCU films have all kind of looked the same. What I mean is that they have this oversaturated colour to them. Everything seems to have this bright, warm tone to them. I'm not sure if this is because of the use of evident green screens, but it certainly has been like this for a while. Thunderbolts is different. The tone is darker, the overall lighting is darker in places, colours seem to be more muted, and it generally seems to have a more cold, dark and earthy aesthetic. I think it's refreshing. It works for this film, especially with the themes that are explored throughout. And I guess it also reflects how our characters are also feeling. The bad points of this film. I think if I had to nitpick, I'd say there are probably maybe 1 or 2 scenes where the CGI was not the best. I believe it's where the Thunderbolts are trying to fight Sentry and we see him using his powers on them. It doesn't look as great as some of the other sequences. I do have to say that this is definitely one of the best post-Endgame MCU films in a while that hasn't been ruined by bad CGI. Just maybe could have been fully polished more. The only other issue I have with this film is the Void World sequences. We got to see Yelena and Bob's various traumas, and understandably, as they are the main 2 protagonists that we focus on. However, I feel like it would have been more interesting to see a few from the other characters, particularly Ava, who didn't get any trauma-related scenes at all, LAKEY, and John Walker. It would have also been interesting to see how Bucky would have handled seeing his past traumas, as he definitely would have had some interesting ones to revisit. I guess from the film it was revealed that he handled it the best. So in conclusion, I would give Thunderbolts, or New Avengers, a solid 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, this is not the best MCU film by any means. It doesn't hold a candle to some of the other films I mentioned previously, and certainly it would have been nice to explore some of the traumas that the other characters had experienced as well, as just slightly tweaking the CGI a little bit. However, this is a step in the right direction. The characters are all more developed, have flaws and feel like actual beings. This film feels dark, grounded and knows when to use comedy. It feels mature and the serious themes that are explored in this film are taken seriously. Yes, the action scenes are good, but this isn't what this film is about. It's about people who aren't okay and learning that they aren't alone and that there are people around them who know what it's like and care. It's about a team of unlikely misfits who learn to work together when everything around them is falling apart. This film matters, it has heart, and for me, it came out at the right time. So comment down below what you thought about Thunderbolts. Who were your favourite characters, what were your favourite sequences, and what rating would you give it out of 10? Like and subscribe and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!